Live from the Moody Campus Radio Studios in Chicago, Illinois, this is The Letter M. The Letter M with Van Ferro and Andrew Shroyer.
And we're back on The Letter M with Andrew Shroyer
And Van Ferro.
Yeah.
And Brooklyn.
Yes,
we forgot our guest.
No, we can't forget about Brooklyn.
Sorry, we're guys. Oh. We forget anniversaries, birthdays, whatever. It's it's a guy thing. Yeah. So House at the End of the Street. Wow.
Yep.
Who would ever think that we would be talking about that on Moody Campus Radio?
I would,
yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, we always talk about that. So if you would like to join our conversation, you can go ahead and go to our Facebook page at the letter M. .mcr. Sorry, I've been saying the the wrong page. The letter M.mcr, or on our Twitter page at the letter M on MCR. No spaces, by the way. So you can go ahead and join us on our conversation or our phone line. What is our phone line, Andrew?
It's 312-329-4477.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you can just go ahead and call that number, and if we actually feel like it, we would actually put you on the air to greet your peeps. Which Brooklyn's about to do right now.
Yeah, speaking of peeps, actually someone from my hometown, Damon Wedding, came. He's actually on my brother floor this year. We both came, applied to Moody together, and got accepted together, and now he's on my brother floor. Who would have thought? So, shout out to him and all of his friends that are listening to us tonight.
Who are actually huddled around the mini lounge at Dryer 3. Yes, having their fireside chat. Ooh, wow. That sounds so...
warm.
Yeah, warm
Political.
and cozy. And political. No. Okay, House at the End of the Street. Actually, this movie was introduced to me by Andrew, and I immediately said yes to watch this because of Jennifer Lawrence. But we would like to know more about this movie.
Scary movie and Jennifer Lawrence.
I know.
You can't lose on that one.
Yeah, it's like so. What is the movie about? What is the movie about?
It's interesting. It says here, actually, quoting Wikipedia, sorry.
Okay, quoting Wikipedia.
But it says it's a horror. It's a psychological thriller. Actually, this is a really terrible summary. But it was a movie about Jennifer Lawrence. They moved to a new house in the woods, and they move in, and across the street, which actually, ironically, the house at the end of the street, across the street from them is the site where two parents were murdered by their daughter. Yeah. And so that's the basis of where it kind of takes off from, is that, and that the son, their son still lives in that house. Yeah. And you kind of figure out why. And how many spoilers are we going to tell in this show?
Well, you know what? This is Moody Bible Institute. I don't think that people are going to be
necessarily watching.
My I don't know. It's
my
like
dad and family will certainly be watching it.
Well, the interesting thing about the movie is that it's PG-13.
It is.
And there's really no like sexual things that are inside the movie, and the language isn't bad, and it's not gory at all. And it's just like suspenseful, and
with a surprising twist.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not predictable, which is something that I really appreciated, because like the first 10-15 minutes I was like, oh yeah, well, this is gonna happen and this is gonna happen, and then as the movie goes on, you're like, whoa, that's not what I thought at all, you know.
And I mean, it's like, that's one of the purposes why we're here at the letter M. I mean, it's not, we're not here to like, influence you to watch like more worldly movies, but we would like to let you know that these things actually exist. These kinds of movies, these kinds of music, these kinds of media and all that, they actually exist. And we're here to make you not only to make you aware of these things, but also know how to respond to these things. Right. Because usually the response to House at the End of the Street, apart from Jennifer Lawrence, is wow, 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 is the usual response is, oh, I am not gonna watch that movie because, like, I don't want my pastor seeing me watching this movie. And like, okay, so if you're actually reaching somebody for Christ whose interest is these kinds of movies, how are you going to reach out to them if that's immediately your your reaction? Yeah. So that's what the letter M is here for. So I guess for this is for everyone. Not only for our the people here on the studio, but also for our local and international listeners. Yes. What were some of the things that you like about the movie? I think that's usually like the first thing that we talk about. What were the things that you liked about the movie?
I really liked the how it was filmed, I would say. Just they had really interesting shots and really interesting characters. You kind of would expect her to fall in love with one character, and then she totally acted not in love with him at all, and then just kind of like the stereotypical horror movie. It was not like that, which was really refreshing, I think, and made it a lot more interesting to watch than just like, oh yeah, that was scary. So I really enjoyed the characters.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Well, Jennifer Lawrence, guilty pleasure. That's one of the things why I enjoyed the movie. No,
she acted very well. I was really impressed with her acting.
I mean, I think she's at the point in her career wherein like I can appear in like any movie and I can be good at it.
Yeah,
like
which is nice.
Yeah, so I think she's like at the point where she's like, oh, Meryl Streep, I can like. Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's how good she is, and like she's one of those movie stars that can just keep you glued on the screen even when they're not talking. And I'm just not talking just because she's like beautiful or anything, but she has this presence that just glues you on the screen here. Like, I don't know. It's like Jennifer Lawrence is my guilty pleasure on film, something like that. So, what about you, Andrew? You were the one who recommended this film.
Yes, I really loved again, like she said, kind of the originality of it, and kind of like how it was a little deeper than most did. A lot of really in-depth character development took place, and I enjoyed the psychological part of it, like the part that actually went on with the main character, the guy character, the male character lead, and that was what I
forgot his name.
The son,
the son
of the parents who got murdered.
Ryan was his name.
Ryan in the film.
It is not Ryan Renner who is listening to us right now.
Yes,
it's Ryan Jacobson.
Jacobson.
Yeah. I actually know Jacobson here at Moody, but his name is not Ryan, so I don't know.
I know Jessica Jacobson.
Is she listening right now?
Hopefully, that'd be really cool if she was listening.
Yes.
So shout out to Jessica.
Shout out to Jessica Jacobson and to Ryan Renner. I know they're listening right now, so that's awesome. So, what were some of the big themes that we've seen in the movie when we watched it?
I would say trust between the mother and the daughter. That was something that the mom did not want Jennifer Lawrence and then the son of the parents who got murdered to be in the house alone or be together necessarily, because mom was really skeptical of the son's sanity and because of everything that he went through with his sister killing his parents. It's kind of a big deal. And just like the deception that went on with that, the mom, really making it clear that this is not what she wanted, and the kids going against that, obviously. So I thought that was a major theme.
I think another theme that we saw in the film, and if you're going to watch the film is amazing, like technically and all that, and we will be talking more about that. Why there are some choices that were made in this film. So it's actually going to make you run to Walmart Express and go to Redbox and rent it for tonight. So put down those theology books. Watch Jennifer Lawrence. So So hopefully at the end of the night, probably, I don't know. It's like I think we should. Just keep reading your theology books and reserve Jennifer Lawrence for Friday night. So
there you go.
Yeah, I think that's a more politically correct answer.
It should be pointed out that we all three watched this together.
Yes,
Saturday
we
night.
all watched this. Okay, which is another experience. So we went to Jenkins. We were at Jenkins Hall and we watched it on this big plasma TV, which nobody knows about.
I knew about it.
You knew about it, yeah, but like Drew knows about it.
I didn't. I live right across the street from it.
Yeah, we live right across the street.
3 steps from it.
We never knew about it. How did you know about this, Drew?
I get around.
Oh, he gets that's what he said. He gets around. Okay.
He said.
So we were watching this, and I already forgot the name of the public safety guy who was on duty that night.
Oh.
He heard the screams.
Oh my goodness, it was so funny.
Yeah, the screams of terror.
Ralph screams like a 13-year-old girl. Oh my gosh, which scared me more than the actual movie.
Yeah, so we were all like sitting, and that's how good of a movie it is. Like, you know, I was like, you know, oh my gosh, like, and then spoiler alert. When Ryan Jacobson rams Jennifer Lawrence's head
into the door.
On the door, I was like, "You just don't do that to Jennifer Lawrence!" Like, wow.
and the first time the jumpy part, like the first jump of the movie, we all freaked out.
Yeah.
Oh
and
yeah.
the public safety guy at the desk like jumped out of his seat and like looked at us and was like, "What are you watching?" Oh man, it was so great.
Yeah. So it's really crazy. I think well, apart from like, you know, themes of trust, I think there's also the theme of love. Like, characters in this movie have different ways of showing their love, and you know, sometimes, like, you know, these forms of love may not look like love to other people, but really they are. So like there was one scene there where Ryan Jacobson has dinner with Jennifer Lawrence's character and her mom. So and then mom, she gets like really flustered and she's like, "You're only allowed to hang out when I am here," you know, to that effect or something.
Yeah.
And you know, to Jennifer Lawrence, what is Jennifer Lawrence's name in the movie? Yeah.
In the movie,
Ash?
Alyssa.
It's Alyssa, yeah.
Close.
I am so bad at names. We just watched this movie like a week ago. Okay,
2 days ago.
2 days ago.
2 days, not a
A
week.
week, 2 days. Same
Cut me
thing.
some slack. Gosh. Okay, so Alyssa didn't think that this was like an act of love. She just thought that, you know, her mom didn't trust her. But for her mom, this is an act of love. So obvious disconnect. They have to read like Gary Chapman's like 5 love languages and stuff. So, you know, so that's like one kind of disconnect. And then there's another disconnect where, again, spoiler alert, Ryan Jacobson, for, you know, when just because he wanted to keep Carrie Ann, which is his sister, who supposedly killed their parents, just for him to be able to keep Carrie Ann at his side, what he did was, I don't know if this is like really appropriate, but okay. So what he did was he kidnapped girls and he dressed them up as Carrie Ann.
His sister.
Oh, Drew is giving me the death stare. Yes, these are the kinds of movies that.
That's not a death stare.
Yeah, so he kidnaps these girls and dresses them up as Carrie Ann, and he treats them as Carrie Ann just so Carrie Ann is not gonna go away from him.
Right. Yeah.
And for us, it's like psycho, but
Yeah.
like for him, that's love. Yeah.
Creepy love. But
Yeah.
it's love.
I mean, it's kind of like, you know, a kind of love that needs like a mental institution or something to intervene. But, you know, for him, that's love.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And it's, wow. It's just really powerful. I don't know. It's like, my roommate and I had a big fight over the summer. And it was just that. We just had like, you know, different love languages and stuff. And we just didn't understand each other. So I was homeless for 10 days. I was living at church. And without the church knowing about it, and you know, that's the main thing. It's like we both have like different ways of expressing love, but you know, I just didn't get it, and you know, I thought that he didn't care, so I moved out, and you know, drama ensued, and then I came back, and you know, we were back again, you know, as friends, because like, you know, finally understood. Oh, he doesn't show that kind of, you know, that's not his love language or something like that. So yeah. It's like self-disclosure. I hate this. Self-disclosure on 24 time zones. Gosh.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So, what about you, Andrew? What were some of the themes that you got from the film?
I liked the fact that you kind of pointed it out about oh man, I'm having a I'm as bad as names. Ryan. When Ryan,
I think it's the SDR pork chop.
I didn't have any.
Right.
I didn't eat any pork tonight. I'm kosher still, so I'm good.
Kosher.
But like when Ryan does that with all the girls, you can sense that there's a psychological problem going on.
Yeah.
And I think it all like originates back from there's that wound in his life that he did that to his sister, and his parents pushed that on him and punished him for it. And instead of letting it go, and all three parties could be at fault for that, but instead of letting it go, it just developed into this, everybody like had harsh feelings about it. And then it just adds on and on and on until it becomes a psychological problem.
And everyone in the town treats him like an outcast, and you know the neighborhood kids beat him up and vandalize his car and his house, and they just call him nasty names. And even the adults in the community are very put off by when he really didn't do anything that they knew about.
Yeah, and that is very scarring for for people because like usually when people are treated a certain way, they slowly and unconsciously assume that personality. So if people treat you like you're stupid or you're ignorant, you begin feeling in yourself that, you know what, I may be actually, maybe
I am.
And then you start underperforming in school and stuff, and but you're not actually stupid and ignorant, but you believe all of these lies, and that's what happened to him.
Yeah, which shows you the power of words, in our world today, and as students in college, especially. I feel like sometimes our sarcasm can get out of the way sometimes and be taken the wrong way, which is really hard for sarcastic people like us.
Yes. We are all sarcastic. And sometimes like people think that we're not joking. So no, honestly, it's like
so sad.
Yeah, okay, so there was like one instance, and this is like life application. Okay, when you are in a table at the SDR. Okay, this happened like this week. So we have somebody on our. Should I even talk about this?
Just go. No
just go.
Listening.
Okay. And this is like power of words. Like so on Tuesdays, we have a certain member of our brotherhood who acts a certain way. I don't know if that's really vague or if that makes sense, but he's basically, he acts like somebody who's from Home Depot.
A tool.
A tool, yes. So, okay, so, and it's not something of his fault, or it's not something that, that he actually has control over. I think it's just, calendars. You know how, like, wolves, like, get crazy, like, during the full moon?
Full moons.
Yeah, he gets all toolish during Tuesdays. So that's why we call Tuesdays as Tuesdays. We actually mentioned his name. So he did one of the things that, and usually when he's a tool, he's super funny, which is why we tolerate it. So
and he's joking.
And he's joking, exactly. We all know he's joking.
The whole thing is a joke.
Yeah, and then so Tim was there, and he was like, "Happy Tuesday," after he did his act, and there was somebody on the table.
Yes, who did not appreciate it very much.
And she got hurt. I feel bad.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, she shouldn't have.
Well, it was one of those instances where she just didn't know the person, well enough, and just automatically assumed that, like, oh, he's an actual tool.
Just because it's Tuesday doesn't mean that you... Yeah. I'm not gonna repeat the words on air. It's like, so I mean that's one thing. So like sometimes like your words, even you mean it like really, really well, like sometimes it just doesn't carry over.
Right.
Especially on text.
Yes, and and text messaging is super hard to discern sarcasm from truth.
Yeah.
And I think because sarcasm does have an element of truth in it, which makes it so funny.
Yeah. Well, that's why when you're going to give a sarcastic text, you put LOL at the end, or a smiley face.
Or something to that effect.
Or something like...
Or JK.
Or JK.
Just kidding. Like
JK,
a second later.
A second later.
Send the text, have them freak out for a second, and then they get another text. It's like, just kidding. And you're like, oh, ha ha, sarcasm is funny.
And that's actually like one thing that I'm getting kind of like concerned about. I mean, not only here at Moody, but also like in society in general. Like, we tend to put people in boxes. And, you know, we put stereotypes like what they did with Ryan Jacobson. Just because he continues to live in a house where his parents got killed, like, people automatically assume that he was like crazy and stuff. And, you know, we do that here at Moody too. You know, there are people that we call, you know, popular, and then there's like the holy people who pray in chapel, like, you know, they just ran a 12-mile marathon or something, like, or like, and then we put them in a box. And then there's like the people who are weird, and we put them in a box too and stuff. And, you know, no, you have to know people. Yeah. So, okay, I think we are really ripe for a break right now. There's a lot of people who's asking us to shout out for them. So we are going to go on a break. When we come back, we are going to be talking about some of the technical aspects of the film that we liked and why we thought they were like choices that the filmmaker made. So for a break, we will be playing. Oh, this is somebody who was here at Moody this past semester, John Mark McMillan. Sheet of Night, only here at the letter M. And that's Brandon Heath with Wait and See, only here on the letter M. And this is Van Ferro, by the way.
And Andrew Shore.
And Brooklyn.
Yes, and we are talking about The House at the End of the Street. Now, if you want to watch the movie, you can go to Walmart. But if you want to participate in our conversation about The House at the End of the Street, you can go to our Facebook page at theletterm.mcr or on our Twitter page at theletterm on MCR.
Yeah, speaking of that, I'd like to give a shout out to my Aunt Misty, who said to just message us on Facebook, said she's listening. Hi, Aunt
She
Misty.
is listening. So, hi, Aunt Misty. Did I meet her when I went to Connellsville?
Yeah, that was whenever we went.
Yeah, that's when we went to Beechin's.
Yes.
Beechin's Firehouse in Connellsville. Is it still in Connellsville, or is it already Uniontown?
No, it's in Connellsville.
Connellsville, Pennsylvania. Best steaks ever. It's like, so that was like 20 ounce? Or was it like 32 or something?
It was
like
16 ounces.
16 ounces of like pure New York steak for... Pure. Yeah,
New York
because
steak.
For like $12. Awesome. It's like, yeah. So anyway, okay, I am starting to get distracted on food again. So yeah.
Don't want you to be distracted on food.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Especially after we had those that pork at dinner.
Oh, we forget stuff after
man.
eating the
I was
SDR
eating
pork
that.
chop.
I didn't have the pork.
So you don't have an excuse then for forgetting stuff.
I just forget stuff.
Your memory just goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, your memory just
overloaded with Greek.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so technicals. I love talking about technicals. So since I love talking about technicals,
well, it's a big, important part of film.
Movie making. Yeah,
what makes it good.
Yeah, even if Jennifer Lawrence is at her best, like physically and all that, if the movie is made crappily, then the movie isn't still going to work. Fortunately, the movie isn't made crappily.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of choices. There's a lot of obvious choices that the filmmaker has put in on this movie, to make it look like it's really legit. So, Brooke, I know you've been talking about like shots and all that.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
You can start us off with that.
All right. Well, one of my favorite shots in the film is when they are inside of Ryan's basement, and this is when Ryan goes all psychopath.
Okay, we forgot to explain actually what is going on in Ryan's basement.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So major spoiler.
Yeah, pretty much just gives the whole movie
Pretty much
away.
Here's the rest of the movie. Yeah, we can give it. It's fine.
It's
yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. No, it's actually you.
Okay, all right. So, when Ryan was a little kid, his sister and him were swinging on the swings while his parents were actually in the house, and they were just really distracted at the time. So
yeah,
and really distracted.
Really distracted. Yeah, you could see it in the shots too. They were really distracted. Yeah, and we are not going to,
Just go
They
ahead.
were really distracted. Go ahead.
Okay, so then Carrie Ann flies off the swing.
Yeah.
And she actually fractures her spine and dies.
Mm-hmm.
And Ryan feels like this is his fault. The parents think that it's his fault.
Yeah.
And so the parents discipline Ryan and totally make him feel like responsible. And so then when he grows, he is actually the one that kills the parents and then stays in the house and he kidnaps the girls and keeps them in the basement. And dresses them up like Carrie-Anne.
Complete with blue contact lenses.
Because she has really deep blue eyes. Yeah. And so he just feel because of the burden of feeling like he killed his sister and like everything his fault. He feels like he needs Carrie-Anne in his life. And so there's a scene at the end of the movie when he kind of goes all psycho and he's like killing people and kidnapping people and it's like really dramatic and Jennifer Lawrence is in the basement and she finds a gun and he has a knife and they're both in the dark basement and he puts out the lights and she finds this flashlight that of course this is like one of the minor like cliches of the horror film.
The horror film genre.
The flashlight is dying. And so she's like freaking out because it's pitch black and she's like for like 5 minutes and she's like banging at the flashlight like in her hand
and you don't see anything unless a flashlight turns on.
Right. And so it's just completely black. Ralph is like trembling right next to me and he's like just kill him! And he's like freaking out. And
I've never told somebody to kill somebody until that film.
Yeah, she was like, just die. And then he kept on. Yeah, so she kept on like banging the flashlight, and like you'd see like bits and pieces of the basement, and it was like a long like okay, like let's.
Well, you kind of expect that the minute she turns on the flashlight, his face is going to be like and like it didn't happen. So you were like, oh my gosh, when is this gonna happen?
It just kept building up.
Yeah, and so then finally you see his face, and it's like ah!
It's like and
dang
gunshots because there's actually a gun in the basement.
Anyway, when you watch it, you'll find out why.
There's
a gun in the basement.
Yeah.
So that was one of my favorite technicals of the movie, just because it was like a good cliche that was still suspenseful in the midst of it being a cliche. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a film that's meant to evoke suspense and and horror. So
yes.
Yeah. What about you, Andrew? What were like some of the things that you liked about the film technically?
I enjoyed kind of like sort of the cliches that kind of help build up the suspense at the end. Is kind of those certain things that happen like in the middle of the movie, like whenever the girl that you think is Carrie-Anne escapes the house and runs into Jennifer Lawrence's house. And
because again, just to remind you, they're next door neighbors.
Yes.
There's like a big stretch of state park that separates their houses, but they're next door neighbors.
Yes, and it's just like that's a cliche of the genre, but it really still builds suspense in the midst of that, like that I really enjoyed.
Yeah. And like the beginning shots too, very unconventional for a movie. The shots were solarized, and some of them were like really shaky, really badly framed and stuff. And I was like, wow, this is so hipster. And yeah,
he really did
so
say
hipster.
that too.
That's true. That is true.
And like, and the purpose for that is to kind of like show you that somebody in the film has a mind that's slowly becoming like fragmented and slowly becoming like demented and stuff. And you're like, this actually looks more like a hipster horror movie. So that was like one thing that I really appreciated about that film. They experimented with shots, and it's just very fresh. It's a great departure from like slasher films that we have right now, wherein the draw is mostly like the gore to show you like all the violence and stuff. Which
the blood, it's just like too much.
I mean, up to a point you're like okay, but like up to a point you're like, can we have something different?
Yeah.
So
it was really very refreshing. Very refreshing.
And then Jennifer Lawrence in a horror film. That's like,
what?
Yeah, I know. That was like really.
There were a couple times we called her Katniss. We're like, come on, Katniss, go!
Yeah.
Go!
Oh yes. Especially when she was climbing out of the garage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she actually demonstrated her Katniss skills in the house at the end of the street.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
This is true.
Yeah, no, because like, so she was like tied up. You know, as usual, you know, women are tied up in horror films and all that, and we were just like, Katniss, you can do this, you can do this. Yeah. So just imagine the horror of that public safety officer who was on duty that night.
It was so
Oh my gosh. Whoever you are, thank you very much for your grace and your mercy and for tolerating all of her screams and, you know, shrieks of terror. Yeah, that was like really good. So right now we are actually introducing a new segment for the letter M. This is actually really I don't know how to call it. Over the summer, I think me and Andrew had just talked about, you know, how do we want the show to go forward, and we thought that going and reviewing movies, music, and all that's pretty good. But we thought that we could do something more, so we came up with Moody Stories.
Moody Stories.
Yeah. So Andrew, what is Moody Stories about?
Moody Stories is about like real life people here at Moody that are going through different struggles. It can be, you know, schoolwork or a relationship or anything in that matter. Anything really that's troubling. You can send in a message or write us a letter, and we will get to you. We will get to your story, and we will
offer advice.
Yeah, we'll offer advice.
So if you have a story or anything that you would like to share with us, and you would like to receive, you know, advice from, you know, from peers, pretty much, or encouragement from peers, you can email it to us at theletterm@gmail.com. Again, that's, oh gosh, I don't know how to spell that. theletterm@gmail.com.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we're working actually on giving like a $1 million prize. No, just joking. So okay, that is sarcasm, and I said just joking. So, you know, hopefully that's
So
not
everyone
taken
knows.
as like, yeah. We don't have a $1 million budget, by the way. I wish, but you know, oh well. So if you have any stories, yeah, you can send it to us on our email. So Brooklyn actually brought in a story for us. I mean, nobody has written a story yet, but she's brought in a story from her floor.
Yeah. There is a girl on our floor who is interested in one.
Oh my gosh, they're all shaking right now. They're like, okay, go ahead.
So there's a girl on our floor that is interested in someone on our brother floor, which is funny because I think all of them are listening.
Me and Hunter, or me and Van here are kind of.
Well, we will be like really impartial about it. So,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll try.
Okay, so remove yourself from.
Yeah, we are removing ourselves from Dryer 3 for this. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she's interested in a guy who is on the brother floor. And just like doesn't really know what to do with it. I mean, she is nervous that if she asks to hang out, that he might suspect and get freaked out, and like when are one-on-ones okay and when are they not? How do you casually hang out with someone that you're interested in without having the guy freak out? So she's just like not really sure if she should just like sit and wait for something to happen, or just like move forward, I guess.
Oh my gosh, I need an interpreter.
I know.
It's like, this is how like those Miss Universe contestants usually get out of the question and answer portion. Wow, that's hard. I think it's like a Moody thing.
It really is a Moody thing.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Like you like somebody from the brother or sister floor, and we're not gonna mention names. That's the nice thing about Moody Stories. You can actually turn in your story. You can give us a code name like Alpha Female or something like that.
Alpha Female. Oh my
Yeah. And you know, we're not gonna reveal your real name or reveal the names of the people who's involved in the story. It's just a story, pretty much. That is hard. I don't know. Never had that experience before where somebody on the sister floor liked me. I mean, it's kind of understandable. I'm weird. Andrew, you've had a lot of experience with this.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
What do you do? Okay, wait. So does she want the guy to notice that she likes him?
I think that I think she secretly wants him to notice.
Okay, she secretly wants. Yeah, but it's usual. It's like you just don't like somebody for
because
nothing.
you just don't want to be like, hey, I like you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, because then
you
it's
don't
just
want to come
awkward for everyone.
Yeah, you don't want to come across as like the quintessential like awkward like moody student who's been like sheltered from everyone. Wow. It kind of depends. But you know what? This is from a guy perspective, and this from like a guy who's gosh, how do I say this? Has a gift of celibacy, I guess. So for me, like, if I like a girl, or even if I don't like a girl or something, if I can sense that she likes me, I have to sense that she likes me before I take any action. I don't know if it makes sense. Okay, I know that guys are supposed to pursue or anything, right? But I'm not the cougar type. So, okay, so like for example, this is from work. Okay, there's this girl, and I would confess, I call her creepy Chinese lady. I know I shouldn't be doing that, but it's I did. So in my mind, I call her creepy Chinese lady, and I sense that she liked me. She was like, so usually they would ask us like, when do we want to take lunch breaks and that, and she would be like, oh, I'll take my lunch break with him. And I'm like, girl,
okay.
So I can kind of like sense that she liked me, but the first thing was I didn't like her. So like, how do I show that? So I have a different response if I don't like the girl than if I actually like the girl.
That is true.
Yeah. So I guess if I were the guy who she likes, I think that's something that I would be looking for.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's hard because this is when guys like a girl too, to know whether or not they do. You know what I mean? Because no one's necessarily like really open, like, oh yeah, like I'm kind of interested in you. Like no, I feel like no one here at Moody is that like forward or intentional about a relationship. Even if it's a friendship. Yeah. And so it's hard to gauge. So when someone of the opposite sex asks you to hang out or like, oh, let's go out and get coffee.
Oh my gosh.
It's so hard to know. Like, okay, is this a friendship thing? Is this a relationship thing? Are they interested in me? Are we just friends? How do they feel about me? I don't know. Well, if I look at it this way, it's this, and if I look at it that way, it's that. And it's like,
and this is just like coffee at Starbucks.
Oh yeah, like and it's just coffee. Like it's so not a big deal. So I think like my advice to her was just like just relax, just be yourself, and if something happens, awesome. If not, just like don't be like hi, like down his neck, because otherwise he's gonna freak out, and like, and that's not what you want to happen, because and
you want something to work out.
This is only the third week of school too, so it's like you're only like the first stage of getting to know each other. So once you hang out with him more, you might realize that, hey, we're better as friends anyway. So I'm glad that I didn't freak out. But if you freak out, and it would have been better as friends, then you just ruined that. So
I think like one thing that we should understand is when we ask somebody out, it doesn't mean that we're gonna get married to them because we already went on a first date. No, it's like you hang out with people not only to see if they're like perfect for you or anything, but just to hang out, enjoy their company. Go for coffee. There are actually a lot of important things that you can learn about the person that you may actually be able to apply to your life as well.
Yeah, I
so
agree.
What about you, Andrew? I know you've had like a lot of experience in these things.
My opinion always is that there's really no necessarily universal answer, but it all depends on really the opposite person's what do I say, character, but how is he? Is he shy? Is he very talkative? Because if he's kind of shy, then you go at it one way, and then you take it. Yeah, me too.
We're both shy with girls,
Which is why the big group thing doesn't work for me, because I just don't talk to people in big groups. It's just like it's just I just shrink up in large groups. But like on a one-on-one basis, I can even as friends. So that's where it kind of gets to be tough, like you guys were just mentioning about the whole dating thing, or going to Starbucks. Is it just a friends kind of date, or is it? That would even be worse with me because that's pretty much the only kind of talking I can do.
Yeah.
So you can see it can kind of be complicated. It would depend on that person's character, pretty much.
Yeah.
I think that we just need to take a breath and stop overthinking it. Just go to coffee. Like, it's not a big deal. Like you said, no one's getting married, and like
Exactly.
and especially I feel like a lot of girls are like, oh my gosh, he asked me out to coffee. Like,
what does it mean?
I think I should say no because I just don't see him that way. And then, like, I heard a girl, me and this girl were having this conversation, and she was like,
gosh.
I don't think I'm gonna go just because, like, I just really don't want to give the wrong idea. And like, by drinking a cup of coffee, like, that's not really giving a guy the wrong idea, because then when you go out to coffee and he does, say like, hey, like, I'm really interested in you, or and if he does eventually tell you, then that is the time to say, like, I'm just really interested in a friendship, and as long as you're not, excessively leading the person on, just like be chill out, girls and guys, both.
And guys, because I always freak out when somebody's going on a date.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I'm like Project Runway. It's like, okay, this is what you're going to be wearing. These are the shoes, because like, this kind of shoes, it communicates something. And these kinds of pants, and that's why my roommate, when he's dating somebody, he doesn't tell me. That way, I am not gonna freak out. Yeah.
And that's another good point too, because
if you are the friend
of the person who's going on said coffee get together or coffee date, whatever you want to call it,
coffee date.
a lot of outside opinions can actually label your coffee date for you, which is really irritating, because then it's like, no, like, that's not what this is. And then if the other person gets wind of that, then they're like, oh my gosh, they think this is a date. This is not a date. And then it becomes, so friends of the people who are going on dates, like, relax, chill.
Yeah, this is not like, if he didn't dress up this way, he's not gonna get a second date or anything. It's like I think this is like the way we play God on our relationships, wherein like, because we know that marriage is a really special relationship, and basically your choice of a partner when you're getting married is something that may actually make or break your spiritual life. So I think that's part of that, why we overthink things. Like, is she the perfect one for me or something? But just chill, which is something that I should actually learn how to do.
Me too.
Also, I think for her, since she likes somebody on the brother floor, which is our floor incidentally, I think she should go to more Brosis events. And it's not to creep on the guy. It's for her, it's an opportunity for her to know the guy, how he functions on a social setting.
That's true.
Because like, when you watch somebody in a social setting, you actually know more about that person, like personally, rather than just talking to him like one-on-one. Because like, when you talk to somebody one-on-one, you can actually put up a different persona, a different personality, just to please that person, especially if you like that girl, if you like that guy. But if that person is in a social setting, you can kind of like see, oh, what's he made of, or what's she made of, or something.
How do they react to certain things? How do they react with guys? How do they react with girls? It's a really dynamic way of seeing someone's character.
And I think the thing too is we shouldn't be putting people in boxes. Like, sometimes when we like somebody, we're like, oh, he's this kind of girl. She's this kind of girl. Yeah, she's this kind of girl, like, oh, she's hipster, she's popular and stuff, and we immediately assume stereotypes, and then we try to fit in ourselves on those stereotypes on her life or his life, and in his case, in her case, I'm mixing up my pronouns right now, and it just doesn't work, because we are applying ourselves to stereotypes and not to the person.
Right. Yeah.
So for you, our sister, who currently likes somebody on our floor, it's like, see the entire person. No, not you, Brooklyn. Not you.
Although our sister.
Yeah. Although,
okay.
yeah, no, that sister, and probably like all of the other sisters in general from other floors who like somebody on their brother floor. Yeah. So I mean, you can blame them. I mean, come on.
Brothers who like girls on the sister floor. Too. I mean,
even if it's from another sister floor, guilty. Yeah. So.
Yes.
Yeah. That's another thing entirely. But
Traitor.
Yeah. No, but like the thing is, honestly, and I'm not saying this because I am a Moody student or we're like Moody and we're here with Moody people and stuff, but if there's any place where you could find like a guy or a girl who is like how do I say this without sounding cliche or something, like spiritually okay,
yeah.
I guess, and like they can fit like a lot of your types, it's Moody. Because like this is a place where you don't have to worry about like, is this guy being saved? Do I have to do missionary dating on this guy or this girl? Like, you don't have to do that. Dating. Yeah, missionary dating. So, and it is not about dating missionaries. Yeah, it's yeah. And like this is that place. You have like all kinds of people here, all kinds of types, and they're all Christian. They're all brothers and sisters in Christ. So that's one less thing that you have to worry about. Mm-hmm. So, just chill. It's chill. I think that's the big advice tonight. Just chill with relationships here at Moody. I mean, you're just 3 weeks.
We should make t-shirts.
Yeah. Just chill. Yeah.
Keep calm.
Keep calm.
Keep calm. Oh, I like
chill.
those things. Yeah.
Keep calm and stay chill.
Yeah, especially when they go with tea. That's awesome. Yeah, the keep calm things. You wear a t-shirt and then they also have like the keep calm tees and stuff. So hipster. So
you like that word tonight, hipster.
Huh? My roommate is hipster. That's why.
Which one?
Huh?
Which one?
I'll never tell. You know who it is. So that's actually Robert Lalord, who is listening right now from the comments with all of those people who he brought in his listening party. So we would like to greet them again. Thank you for listening to us at the letter M. Again, if you would like to let us know that you are actually listening to us, you can go to our Facebook page at the letter M.MCR or on our Twitter page at the letter M on MCR. So we are going to go on a break, and when we come back, there's going to be more Jennifer Lawrence and the house at the end of the street, only here on the letter M. And that's the proof of your love from King and Country, only here on the letter M. We are back.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, we're back. So right now we are at the application segment of our show, where we, I guess, if you're just joining us right now, we've been talking about The House at the End of the Street.
Yep.
It's a movie with Jennifer Lawrence on. Jennifer Lawrence. Yeah. So Jennifer Lawrence on it, and right now we are at the segment where we actually take everything that we've talked about and everything that we've learned about in the movie, and we basically discuss everything that that we can apply to our lives, whether it's like spiritually or emotionally or like socially and all that. So, well, ladies first. So we'll start with our special guest, Brooklyn DeVrou.
Well, one thing that I got out of it was just how people judge others and how we make assumptions for one another. Just like the community judged Jacob, or not Jacob, what's his name?
Ryan Jacobson.
Ryan
yeah.
Jacobson.
You must be thinking about Twilight.
Yes.
Oh man. Can't get that mixed up. Okay.
Yeah.
So how the community judged Ryan, and treated him so poorly, and even how Alyssa judged Ryan, and thinking that he was like this really sweet guy. She prejudged him before she knew all his little secrets, and like the secret that he kept in his basement. Kind of creepy. Yeah. So, and her assumptions led her to fall in love with someone and put herself in a situation where she was kidnapped and her mother got stabbed, and
it's
it got her in trouble. Her assumptions got her in trouble, and that's just with judging people without really knowing where they're at. Like, everyone judged Ryan Jacobson because of everything, but didn't really take into account that he might actually, I don't know, like need someone to help him.
Yeah,
through...
like professionally. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd say that's what I learned.
I mean, like, especially when you know that somebody had come from a traumatic background or event in his life, you're like really certain that that person will at some point need some help. Even though they may say right now that, I don't need help. It's like, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that, these people are scarred emotionally and psychologically pretty much, whatever it is. So they all need help. Another thing that I found from this film, which I think most of us Christians do, is the savior complex. We always have like this thing that we can take somebody and just when we share Jesus to them, like it's all gonna go away.
You can fix them.
You can fix them. Yeah, you just tell them the gospel and you can fix them. If you just give them the right amount of discipling, if you just give them like the right amount of attention, the right amount of Bible study and all that, and up to a point it works. But I think that especially with Ryan Jacobson's case, like up to a point it would work for him, but when he starts dealing with those inner demons, should we say, in his mind that have been like just troubling him and making him do all of these nasty, creepy things, like at some point, yes, you being there as a Christian, in his life, if you are ministering to Ryan Jacobson, at some point you would need more than that. You would need like professional help, like medications, and like stay at the mental institution and stuff. Sometimes, yeah, because like even with relationships, we have this mentality. Okay, say you have like you have an infatuation with somebody who's not the believer. You're like, oh, if I just bring him to church every Sunday and all that, he's gonna change, he's gonna get saved, and we'll all live happily ever after. And you know what? Sometimes that's not it's not enough.
No.
Yeah. It's I think a lot of people who had done like missionary dating and then they marry that person and
their marriage fails.
Yeah, and their marriage fails, and they're like, "Well, I thought this was like ordained by God." No,
right?
It's you having the savior complex.
Because you think that you're doing this like, oh, this holy, like this is what the Lord wants because it's doing good for this person, and but for your own spiritual walk and for your own emotional health too. That's a lot of pressure to put on yourself to fix this person. It's like playing God, and it's like no.
Because you cannot fix a person, Jesus can, but you can. I think that's like one thing that we have to realize too. There was one thing that you were telling me, Andrew, like during the break, about like the thing that you saw in the film that you kind of like related to or something. Usual van fashion, it's like I forgot. So
I'm trying to because I told you a couple things actually.
Yeah, there was like a lot of things. Yeah, so when we're actually running the music breaks here, we are just not like chilling and like shaking our heads and tapping to the music. We're actually talking, more about this, and a lot of the things that we talked about during the break, you're kind of like hearing right now, and stuff. I know you were talking about like when somebody, basically like when somebody has like a different perspective of love. You were kind of like going off of what I was saying about like different love languages.
Oh,
yeah.
And I was kind of in the gauge of like of in the area of like, well, you mean like before the break, like when we were doing the Moody Stories thing?
Yeah.
Well, Ryan Jacobson. Yeah. Man.
There's so many Jacobs here at Moody, that's why we're getting confused.
Well, and I can be thinking about it too.
Oh gosh, that's another Twilight reference.
Yeah, I can be thinking about that too. But anyhow,
we love Twilight, by the way.
Yes,
so just letting you know.
They love Twilight.
Yeah.
Wow.
How funny is that?
So quick to extrapolate yourself from the conversation.
Yeah. She's throwing us under the bridge, but
yeah.
I was kind of making the point that like he kind of has a different way of showing things that maybe other people don't understand, and like you were going off with the judgmental thing, is that some people don't want to understand that.
Yeah.
And we need to, as Christians, be open to other people's way of doing things, because people don't do things the same way that we do. Yeah. And when they don't, we tend to, the first thing that we want to do is to say, well, they're either weird or that, you know, we try to outcast them.
Yeah.
And
like going on a coffee date.
Exactly.
Going on a coffee date, yeah.
Right.
It's so true, though.
Is it like you're okay? So, this is for like the guys who would want to ask you out. Do you want a coffee date?
Me personally?
Yeah.
Do I want a coffee date?
Mm-hmm.
Every girl wants a coffee date.
Do they want to pay for it?
Do they? I don't care. I just want to go for coffee.
Oh my gosh.
Coffee's involved. I don't care if I have to pay for it.
Yeah.
Good.
Is that desperate? Oh my gosh.
What? You're overthinking it, sister.
Yeah.
Okay.
I need to chill.
You need to chill. Yeah, we need to follow our own advice. You need to chill. Okay. There's also another thing that I noticed in the film. Elizabeth Shue. Shue or Shui? I think it's Shue.
I think Shue.
Yeah. She was nominated for an Academy Award in 1994 for Leaving Las Vegas. Not that shoe. Not that cowboy shoe. But like Shue, as in S-H-U-E. She plays Jennifer Lawrence's mother, and like when you're like watching the movie, you're like, oh, I know why they chose her. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, she's like
she did a great job.
She took good care of herself, honestly. And there was one scene where Jennifer Lawrence basically just tells her that she didn't like being trusted, and she said something to the effect, which we cannot actually repeat the exact lines on here. We cannot, yeah. So, but she said that, you know, I am not going to be what you were when you were in high school. And then she walks off.
Yeah, basically.
She said it in so many words, but, you know, we don't want to mention it, so, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
yes,
right.
you remember that part,
right.
yeah.
Okay,
and I think when we become parents, as Moody students and stuff, I know a lot of Moody students are like, you know, they didn't do a lot of the things that the world has done and stuff in their lives, and you know, we get to a point, and I think this was the point that she was at in her life. She got to a point wherein she started realizing the things that she regretted in her life, and she doesn't want that to happen. To Jennifer Lawrence, to Alyssa, to her daughter, and up to a point it's good, but when it's starting to become like a controlling thing. Mm-hmm. Where I don't want this to happen to my child, or I don't want this to happen to my, I don't know, whatever relationship you have right now, roommate, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, because you know that this is what's going to happen. But when it's starting to become this controlling thing wherein you're just preventing somebody from actually discovering, you know, the mistake or, you know, or anything like that, it's not healthy too.
Right.
Yeah, which is kind of hard because as Christians we are called to gently rebuke people when they're doing something wrong. Gently rebuke. So, well, we're gonna leave that out for In But Not Of, which is another show here at MCR. Another great show hosted by by David. David. I already forgot his last name. Oh my gosh.
McKay?
David McKay, yes, he is with the Moody Corral, with you, who went with you to Brazil.
Yeah, I did go with him to Brazil for 3 weeks.
Cool guy. Yeah, cool
he's
guy.
A great guy.
Cool guy and a cool show. It's actually a show about like how it is to be Christian men.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I hope there's also going to be like a show here at MCR about like being really great Christian women can counter like In But Not Of. It's probably going to be like Out But Of, if it's like women. Because it's In But Not Of if you're a guy, so it's gonna be like Out But Of.
Get it?
You didn't get it. Okay. Oh well. Yeah.
Over my head.
Yeah. We need like Monster or something like that.
Yeah, I know. I know.
To catch
Coffee.
up. Yeah. There's
Coffee date.
Coffee date. You really want a coffee date? Okay. If you want to date Brooklyn, yes, she wants a coffee date. You can let us know on Facebook at theletterm.mcr or on our Twitter
12
page.
Messages.
We just got 12 messages.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And going back, how did we ever get like distracted? Going back, that's a big struggle for us. When is something becoming like really controlling, and when is something becoming a gentle rebuke?
Yeah, in a healthy to make the relationship healthy.
Yeah. Like, for you guys, like, what's the line? Pretty much.
Well, I think first of all, it depends on what kind of relationship. If it's a parent to a daughter, or if it's a boyfriend to a girlfriend, if it's a friend that's a girl to me, or a friend that's a guy to me, it's really different. And I think if you're not my parent and don't talk to me like you're my parent is a big one. Like condescending people can be really irritating. You know what I mean? And it can really put off a lot of people, and not really it's not really an attractive quality either. And
spoiler alert, that is not an attractive quality for Brooklyn and the rest of the sisters too, so
okay.
different kind of spoiler alert.
It's a different kind of spoiler alert.
Looking for a Jennifer Lawrence.
From Ralph? No.
But I think that from a parental perspective, I think that it's a lot different because they're your parent, and like they have say, they definitely can have the right to say what they think, especially when it's involving your child. But once you get to a certain age, like college, you choose what you do with that, because we're adults, which is really an interesting thing, especially for college students who go home during summer and live with their parents, because I experienced that this summer with being at home, and then I want to go out, but do I ask my parents' permission, or like do I just go out, or when they tell me to do something, do I respect them and do it, or if I really don't want to, I'm an adult, and I think it's just like this awkward fine line between what's appropriate and what's not. But I think regardless, especially with our parents, we should honor them and obey them, and for the majority respect their words of wisdom.
Yeah. What about you, Andrew? Where do you usually draw the line between controlling behavior and gentle rebuke? I mean, I know the answer, but for the benefit of our local and international listeners.
It's a really hard one. I think when, especially because if it's your parents and you're an adult, and you're 30 years old, and they're trying to tell you everything what to do, there's a point where you do honor, love them, respect them. You just can't do everything like that. You just can't do everything that they want you to do,
unless you're Norman Bates.
Yes, this is true. That's a great point.
Which is kind of unhealthy, actually.
And yes, that was unhealthy. But that's actually a great example of an unhealthy way of going about that. But I think that you have to really think about what they're trying to say and really get to the point of okay, for instance, if there's a certain guideline that you want, that your parents want you to follow, say why are they want me to follow this? Is it just to put a rule down here, or is it because what are they trying to get across to me? And then really try to find that in what they're trying to say, and apply that to your life.
Because a majority of the time, like in Alyssa's situation, it's because they love us and they want us to succeed, and so their advice that they give us, even though we might not like it, or it might not be the funnest plan in the world, or majority of it's because they want us to succeed in life. And again, that all depends on your parents' status, and especially because I know some people who have unsaved parents, so and that's a whole another issue, like my parents are unsaved, they don't understand, so when they tell you to do something, it's harder to discern, and gauge that advice when it's not biblical.
I mean, you just can't tell your parents, like, I ain't gonna follow you because, like, I'm following Jesus first and you ain't saved. So you just can't do that.
You ain't saved.
Yeah, you just can't do that, No. I mean, you also have to honor your parents whether or not they are saved.
You respect them. Yeah,
exactly.
There's nothing in the Bible that says, well, if they're not saved, you can't, don't honor them.
I know that, like, a lot of churches teach that, if there's, like, a higher authority or something, and he says otherwise, you should do this. And, that's usually, like, the thing that a lot of Christian kids use, when they disobey their, their unsaved parents, if they are not saved. They're unsaved. Oh, gosh, I'm getting confused. Yeah, so,
He's confusing himself.
Yeah, I am confusing myself and stuff. Actually, that's like one of the big issues that I have with my parents. I haven't been home for 8 years.
Wow.
There were rumors milling around in Shroyer 3 that I ran away when I was 16. I did not run away. I actually went here to study nursing so I could become an actor. And it's another different story. That would be another episode of The Letter M.
Yeah.
But so that is a big struggle between me and my parents, because the last time my parents saw me and actually, like, raised me was when I was 16. So they still think that, when they Skype with me and stuff, I'm still like that 16-year-old boy that they have to, like, guide and stuff. And, like...
And now you're hosting a radio
I am,
show.
like, 100 years old already. I'm hosting a radio show here at Moody Campus Radio.
What are you, like 22, 21?
Huh? 100.
Oh, yeah.
I'm legal.
How old am I?
You're 20.
Yeah, and that's like a big struggle. Like sometimes, like during my earlier years, yes, when I was still ancient and all that. So first years here in America, they were like, "Oh, you should wear this. You don't look good in this and stuff." And like even when we were Skyping like 2 weeks ago, so Robert accidentally shaved my head.
Accidentally? How did he accidentally shave?
Well, I asked him to give me a haircut, and he went like 5 inches too short, so he just decided to shave my head. So I showed my mom, like, this is my new haircut. Like, I kind of like it, but I am not gonna keep it. And she's like, "No, who did that to you?" And she was like all riled up and like, "No, it's fine. It's I like this, and it's fine." And she's like, "No, you don't look good on it." And like, "No, it's like I look fine on it." And then when I went to the beach. This is caveat for like for Filipino culture. Okay, Filipinos like to be white. Yes, there's a whole industry in the Philippines about whitening products, whitening soaps, whitening lotions, whitening like IV medications and stuff. So you can actually inject yourself and you would be paper white. So
seriously?
Yes. So when we were kids, because that is a standard of beauty in the Philippines. When you're light-skinned, you're more beautiful, you're more attractive. That's why when we were kids, my mom would always make it a point that she's going to reserve the pool after sunset, and that's the only time we would be able to swim. We would only go night swimming. We won't go to the beach and all that because we're gonna get dark. If we went to the beach, we would be slathered with a lot of sunscreen. So that's why I don't look...
Jump in a pool of sunscreen before...
Pretty much, before going into the water.
Right.
So when I came here, I got oriented to the ways of white people, where they go tan. And like, why do you want to tan? It's like, your skin color is fine. So I hang out with people who tan and like, sunbathe and all that. And I started doing that. Andrew, Brooke, Hunter Williams, who's also listening right now. Yeah, I've sunbathed with that guy.
Really?
Like,
he's still super pale white, though.
I know, he's still super pale white. I'm like super black already, he's still pale white. So, went to the beach in Florida. And, I got like really dark. And then when I came up on Skype, my mom was like, "Wow, you are so dark. I don't like it." Like, I'm already like 100 years old. You don't need to tell me if like I should become darker, if I should become white. So yeah, so I mean stuff like that. It's kind of like hard,
Yeah, and like I think you just need to take it with a grain of salt because it's just I mean like honestly.
Yeah.
It's and I think with anyone who gives you advice, if you're the advice giver, you should just like throw it out there, and if they don't take it and they don't listen to it, just like that's their choice. There's no need to get upset about it, because is it your life? No. Like it's them. Honestly though, like it's them that's making the decision, and they ask your advice, great, and if they don't take it, great, like whatever.
Well, I would just like to read one of the messages that we've had from one of our listeners. Missy Martin from Connellsville, Pennsylvania, suggests that we do a reality TV night, especially Duck Dynasty.
Duck Dynasty! My parents are obsessed.
Well, Adelina,
with
our program director, is right here, is here with us right now on studio, and I'm looking at her. Can we do Duck Dynasty night? She's like just laughing. So that's one of the suggestions that we got. So if you actually want to suggest anything that you think would be something that we would talk about here at the letter M, could be a movie, radio show. We can talk about the letter M at the letter M, but like, okay, movies, TV, songs, bands, what else? Media. We've even talked about physical fitness like last season. If there's anything that you think in pop culture that you would like us to talk about, you can let us know on Facebook at the letter M.MCR or on our Twitter page at the letter M on MCR. So I actually like the sound of Duck Dynasty night.
My parents are obsessed with Duck Dynasty. It's so cute.
Yeah, so we will keep that in file, Misty, and I hope we can do Duck Dynasty night. If we do Duck Dynasty night, I am gonna wear like whatever they wear at Duck Dynasty, and I'm gonna bring my Duck Dynasty duct tape. Yes, that's gonna be awesome.
You can get my camouflage duct tape.
Yeah. So so this is totally out of the subject, going into Duck Dynasty. So Andrew comes in here during like move-in day. So he came in with his dad Brian and with his stepmom Beth, and there were like boxes at the back of their truck, and they were like taped in like camouflage. I'm like, oh my gosh, you have like Duck Dynasty tape. So that's where the Duck Dynasty tapes came from. So
camouflage duct tape.
Yeah.
I thought that I could arrive in style.
Yeah. Yeah, but we will keep that in mind. We will keep that in mind. Duck Dynasty night, reality TV night. You know what? A lot of people here at Moody have very low views of reality TV. That's like one thing that I found, except for American Idol. Like everyone seems to be like crazy. X Factor.
Blake Shelton's on it.
Yeah, but once you get to like Honey Boo Boo Child and like the Real Housewives of whatever county, it's like, they just don't have like a high view of it. Like personally, I don't. I'm like,
Survivor.
I
love that show.
So these are things that we will be mulling about when we're thinking about that. Yeah. So
mull.
We're doing Inception on the mind of our program director right now. Just feeding it all in. Reality TV night. So yeah. So that's actually something that we will be keeping in mind. Well, thank you very much for joining us tonight. It's been really great. Thank you very much for joining us at the first show that aired on MCR this season, which is the letter M. We would like to thank our special guest, Brooke DeVrou.
Yep. Yes.
No problem. Yes. It was so fun.
And we would like to thank the listening groups that are currently assembled at the Commons right now and all that. Yes. Thank you very much for listening. Is there anyone else that we're missing that we have to thank? Misty, yes. Thank you very much for the suggestion. We are going to keep that in mind. Like, really keep that in mind. Yeah. It's not like, how other people keep it in mind where they don't really keep it in mind and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So thank you very much. We will keep you posted on our Facebook and our Twitter page on what we will be talking about next week. But again, if you have a story, a struggle, a dilemma, a relationship problem, or something that you would like to have advice from peers, or even just encouragement and all that, like say you're feeling down, that you've been working on this reading report for Dr. Marty and you're just not getting anywhere. You're just stuck in Leviticus, which a lot of us have, found ourselves stuck in Leviticus during reading reports. Yeah, we've been there.
Yeah.
We can encourage you. We can encourage the Hades out of you and all that. Yes. So if you're interested in doing that, just email us on the letter M on MCR at gmail.com. Again, that's the letter M on MCR at gmail.com. You can also like our page and share our page to all of your friends, family, acquaintances, exes, and anyone that you can share a page with. We're currently at 143 likes. We would like to see that become 200 next week. We're saying that in faith.
Spread the word.
Spread the word, yes. So thank you again. Thank you very much for joining us. And we will be back again next week, only here on Moody Campus Radio.